Hello, friends, and welcome to Resting the Starters. I'm, of course, your scintillating host, AJ Marchese, and I'm joined, as always, by Casey Fleming.
I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning of last week.
And Rob Paul.
Being excluded from a fun night at a Jays game hurts. Cough, Casey, cough.
And today we're talking...
Game 7!
Cavs, Celtics.
Spurs, Warriors!
Dirty Zaza?
Kawhi-Oh-Why?
Harden, crunched.
Pred Stocks.
Hot oil.
Penn Sens.
Rip caps.
MLB Cool Down.
If you build it, who will come?
Too early QB talk.
Double game time.
But first, let's get to our tweets, plural, of the week, singular. And our first of two tweets of the week comes to us from @PopperProps, who says, anyone who thinks the Rolling Stones are better than the Beatles clearly haven't listened to both discographies. Hashtag tweet of the week. Rob, as the musical expert on the show, what's your take?
Wow. I didn't know hipsters were taking over the goddamn world. I'm sorry that I haven't heard every song by every band ever, because you can't form an opinion anymore about music unless you've heard every song ever written. Thanks.
In no way is that an overreaction.
No. Also, just to jab it in a little bit, the Beatles are the most overrated band in history, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Oh, okay, Casey. Who's the most overrated band in history? Go off the top of your head now.
Oh, the Wiggles.
Yep. Nailed it. Actually, though, Aerosmith. Aerosmith, 100%.
That's a good one as well.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Our second tweet of the week comes to us from @ChrisMats4. I think is his handle. My writing is terrible. I don't know. I just didn't take a screenshot. And he asks, if guns don't kill people, but rather people kill people, does that mean that toast? Please help. Hashtag resting the starters.
So if toast. Yeah, well, toast does toast.
Does it, though?
Well, think about it. Toast.
Okay.
When you say it like that, I really start to understand what he was getting at.
It's pretty deep, I think.
Does he need help?
He said, please help. Like, I wonder if that's an unrelated matter or if it's this matter. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, is that some sort of SOS?
Like some sort of symbol or something?
Yeah, it's like the tweet equivalent of blinking. Please help me.
For your chance to be next week's Tweet of the Week, hit us up at RTS Pod. Moving on from those tweets, let's get to actually important stuff and not stupid questions, the NBA playoffs. And let's start in the East with the Game 7 that occurred last night between the Washington Wizards and the Boston Celtics, which, of course, the Boston Celtics won it. And the home team won every single game in the series. The game was good. The Celtics pulled it away. And what are you guys' thoughts of the game?
John Wall just completely no-showed.
Yeah, pretty much.
In his last 19 minutes, he had 0 points, went 0 for 11 from the field, and 0 for 7 on threes. And he was just taking stupid shots, like panicky shots. He kept forcing threes, and he's not that good a three-point shooter. He kind of got away from his game, and it just really seemed like he panicked a whole bunch.
And on the other side of the ball, Kelly Olynyk did the opposite and was the best player in NBA history.
Man, I think his previous career high for points prior to last night was 14. Last night
in the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Last night he drops 26, becomes Canadian Jesus. He's hitting threes. He was doing it all.
Like, he hustle plays, rebounds. He had a great all-around game. Any thoughts on the Wizards season as a whole or the playoff run?
Well, honestly, prior to the season, it looked like, just based on the previous year, when they were all banged up and whatever, it didn't look like they'd be any higher than like a 7 seed entering the year, if even they made the playoffs, was like kind of the consensus thoughts on them.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up being the 4 seed, and John Wall and Bradley Beal separated themselves and became one of the 5 best backcourts in the NBA. John Wall, had Russell Westbrook never been born, John Wall would be considered, like, not quite what Westbrook is, but John Wall is that like as athletic as Westbrook.
I like that we're having simultaneous dog barking and sirens going off right now. Very good for recording purposes, and you're completely right. I also hated how lots of takes were after the game like, oh, Washington was so hot. If they had home court, they would have won the series. But they didn't have home court. They should have been better earlier in the year. Like,
Who had that take? Mugatu?
Yes, it was Mugatu.
But just going back to last night's game, Washington could only really rely, like, basically all year on their backcourt. And with Wall cooling down, Beal did carry them. He had 38 points. But he looked like he got hurt late, which wasn't great. And Boston's depth is just what made the difference for them. Like, Isaiah carries that offense, and Brad Stevens builds that offense around Isaiah getting mismatches. Like, you'll see, like, repeatedly guys setting screens, him getting a one-on-one with Gortat. He's going to blow by Gortat all day. Yeah. But the like Boston's depth that they can rely on a Kelly Olynyk or in like Jaylen Brown, the rookie, had a huge game both on the offense and defensive end. They have Jay Crowder. There's just so much depth that they go like 10 deep versus Washington's bench was outscored by just Kelly Olynyk alone.
That's a really good point, and that's what happened in that series. But moving on to the Celtics' next series, is having that 10 deep bench going to help them against the Cavs?
Not a chance.
How many games does Boston win?
I think Cleveland wins the series in 5 games. Boston's going to take 1 at home is kind of what I'm thinking. Like I
got the same thing.
Yeah, like IT's going to go off for a game, but he's so bad on defense, and who's he going to cover on Cleveland?
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously he can't go against Kyrie. He'll destroy him.
Like, he's going to have to cover, like, J.R. Smith, and J.R. Smith's got, like, 8 inches on him.
Yeah. Like I got the same thing written down as you. Cavs in 5. Celtics win game 2, I say, so the second home game. And I don't think the rest of the games are really close. What were you going to say, Rob?
Like, the depth's not going to matter versus a team like Cleveland who's playing LeBron for 40 minutes. And LeBron's a madman. He's not going to be stopped. He's on a mission to bring Cleveland another title.
All right. Enough said about that. Let's move to the West. And one game in the books in the Spurs and Warriors series. Kind of a crazy game. A lot in this game going on. The Warriors were down by 23 when, of course, Kawhi Leonard got hurt. And then they proceeded to go on an 18-0 run and ended up winning the game. Rob, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, the Spurs blew a 21-point lead after Kawhi went down with the ankle. All the momentum just goes to Golden State because of that. Kawhi's not playing tonight because of the ankle. And so Golden State's going to go up 2-0 in the series because San Antonio really can't rely on anyone else offensively from a night-to-night basis. And without Kawhi on defense, who's like, Kawhi's kind of their all-world stopper and can cover Durant, he can cover Clay, he can cover Steph, whoever they decide to put him on. Mm-hmm. But they've got no one who can cover any of them now. And I just don't think they have the offensive firepower to compete with a team that has 4 All-NBA type players.
And they had a hell of a time even just stopping Durant and Steph in game 1. So, yeah, you're right. I think they're going to exploit those Kawhi not being on the floor.
Hypothetically, let's say Kawhi somehow returns to full health and plays his absolute best. I still don't think the Spurs have like the talent in their starting lineup to compete with what the Warriors have.
No, I agree. Like, what did you think before the series started? Like, say healthy Kawhi, how do you think the series was going to go?
I thought it was going to be Golden State in 6, and now I think it's Golden State in 5.
Fair. So the Spurs still taking him. Fair enough. But yeah, like the numbers after Kawhi went down is kind of crazy. After Kawhi, the score was 58-33 in the Warriors' favor. The Spurs had a 25-point lead in the first half, unless I'm wrong again. 20-point lead at halftime. The third largest comeback in playoff history. Kind of crazy, and it sucks that it all came down to Kawhi Leonard getting hurt. On that note, was the injury to Kawhi, was Zaza's play dirty?
I'm really on the fence about it. So it's a yes and a no. Like, he clearly walked under him and closed him out, which in basketball is a pretty dirty move because giving a guy nowhere to land is pretty dangerous. But if you watch it, Zaza looks like he's not even paying attention. Looks so non-intent on forcing that to happen.
Yep.
But strictly because Zaza has a history of being a bit of a dirty player, I sort of lean towards it being intentional, and he was just trying to play it off because it just came on my TV right now. He shuffles almost under him as he turns his head away. Like, why, I don't understand why he's continuing his movement underneath him. Like, it's not like some people seem to think it's like massively dirty. I think it's dirty, but I think it's more unfortunate than it is dirty. It's just so tough because he doesn't look like he's paying attention to what he's doing.
Yeah, like I'm gonna agree with you here. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm leaning that it was intentional. It's kind of crazy how split everyone is about this. You know, every non-Golden State fan thinks it was the dirtiest play ever, and like lots of coaches think it was kind of dirty. Like Pop, of course, had the big talk about it, and lots of the media guys think it was clean, except for Shaq apparently. So it's kind of interesting. But I'm gonna call back to last episode here and the intro when Rob said Zaza Pachulia is just a 6'11" glorified Rob. In his own words, defend that now, Rob. Are you a dirty player?
Absolutely. I throw as many elbows. I just like when I play a little pickup, we don't play with fouls. I'm throwing elbows all day. I'm running up under guys. When I play my brother one-on-one, way better basketball player than me, so I always run under him when he shoots. I'm very dirty.
All right. Okay, let's talk about Kawhi a little bit. We've already talked about him a lot. But with his, it's not an emergence. He's been great for so long. But is he the second best player in the world right now?
Using the classic analogy of if aliens came to our planet and we had to play them in a basketball game to save our world.
Classic analogy.
Classic.
Guys, Bill Simmons uses it a lot. It's a real classic.
Never heard of him.
The first pick is obviously LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the second pick has to be Kawhi, just because he affects both ends of the court.
So what you're saying is, if LeBron drops out of Space Jam 2, Kawhi's getting casted.
I don't know if Kawhi would want to speak in a movie, so maybe not.
Okay.
But he's got the long alien arms. He's basically an alien. He can guard 1 through 4.
Yeah.
The way he's evolved on offense is insane. How he changed his shooting motion, and he fixed his offense year 2 in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And he's after LeBron, he's the best both ends of the court player in the NBA. He doesn't add the same playmaking ability of obviously a Harden and a Russ, and he's not going to put up the mind-boggling offensive numbers. But neither of those guys play that good defense. Kawhi is going hard both ends of the court, carrying his team on both ends of the court.
If Durant was the same age as Kawhi and had no injury history, would you have Durant over Kawhi?
100%.
Okay, fair enough. Speaking of the aforementioned James Harden, let's talk about his Game 6 performance in the Spurs series. Was that the worst performance from an elite player in a must-win game ever?
From what I've seen, and I've only been alive for 22 years, but from what I've seen, yes. He looked like he was playing drunk. He would drive into the paint, classic. He goes with his Euro step, and then he'd just throw the ball up in the air and an air ball on a layup. It was ridiculous. It didn't look like James Harden. It looked like the aliens took James Harden over, maybe.
Space Jam.
Yeah.
Possibly.
The monsters are back. Ask Casey.
Casey, you want to go on a little ramble right now?
Yeah, it's like Harden somehow found the shoes from Mike, and he's been playing with them all year, but then he just had somebody steal them out of his locker right before that game.
What's up with the magical objects in basketball movies? Why is this a trend?
You have to make basketball interesting somehow.
They're all based on real events, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, based on a true story.
But back to Harden, man. He was accused. Some people were accusing him of point shaving. If you're being accused of point shaving, think about how bad you had to have played.
That's true, but also ridiculous accusations.
I don't know. Paul Crew point shaved in The Longest Yard.
Way too many movie references.
If James Harden goes to jail and the warden has a basketball team, do you think Harden and the inmates can beat the guards?
Yeah, I think they can do it as long as the actor from the original Harden movie. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm rambling like Casey now. Damn it. Back to Harden. No more movie talk. What was his final stat line, Rob? If you got it in front of you, I know he was like 0 for 5 at the half.
I don't have it in front of me, but I think he went 2 for 11, and he didn't take his first shot until like midway through the second quarter or something.
Yeah, he was. I think he was 0 for 2 at the half with 0 for 2. Yeah, 0 for 2 with 2 points from the line and 5 turnovers or something like that. And we might be wrong. We're stupid, but
also it's crazy that a guy who's shooting like at least 20 times a game is the clear like engine for a historically great offense didn't shoot until like midway through the second quarter or something. Yeah, it's insane.
Like, what do you think happened there? Like, what do you think was going on with Harden?
Man, he has the yips. Maybe, who knows? He couldn't handle the pressure. I don't know. It's just insane to me. It's not something I've seen before. Isn't like an absolutely elite borderline MVP player just completely collapsing like that.
It was pretty crazy. All right, let's move from the hard court to the ice and talk some NHL playoffs. Let's start in the West. Preds and Ducks series is tied at 1. The game 3 is tonight, and it's been a really fun series so far. And I think it's going to be, it might go 7. Both teams are playing really well. 2 great games. And what do you guys think about this series?
I think it's hard not to cheer for the Preds right now.
I agree.
The so-called Cinderella story, because they took out the dynasty in the first round, and then they took out St. Louis as well. So you kind of see them coming out of nowhere as an 8 seed, and everybody's on their side right now, and they're still riding that Pecorino going nuts. So it's pretty fun hockey to watch.
If you have no affiliation with any of the Final Four teams in the NHL, you're pulling for Nashville right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
And like the goaltending and defense wins championships, and that's what they're doing right now. And also, who doesn't love PK Subban?
Yeah, for sure. Except for Montreal. You said that the Preds are probably the best team to cheer for right now. But how about the whole idea? We're 3 Canadian guys. Neither of us are big hockey guys. But how about the whole concept of always cheering for the Canadian team, no matter who it is? Do you guys buy into that at all?
Not at all. I actually cheer for American teams because I think it's funnier. Like, people that go out of their way to only cheer for the Canadian teams after their team is out. I just think it's a lost cause.
I find it moronic, to be honest. I don't see any reasoning in it. Especially when, say you're a Leafs fan, or you're cheering for the Senators or the Habs to win the Cup. Like, that's gross, man.
I think if you want to be patriotic, I think the better route would be to literally just Google who has more Canadians on their team and just cheer for that team.
100%. What do you think, Rob?
Man, the majority of the players on the rosters are all Canadian anyway. I don't think a Leafs fan should cheer for the Sens.
I agree, yeah.
Like, okay, I get it if it's like the Flames, maybe the Canucks, or the
Oilers.
The Oilers are great to cheer for.
Yeah.
But when it's your favorite team's rival, I think it's weird. Like, a Steelers fan isn't cheering for the Ravens come playoff time.
I like how you didn't even say the Bengals.
Well,
like, we're an afterthought come playoff time.
They get into the playoffs, they're out in wild card round anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Still too soon.
All right, let's move on and talk about the Oilers. Let's just talk about how bright their future is to the chagrin of Flames fans, probably. But Northern Alberta has a lot to look forward to. They got such a young core. They lost the series, but the future is just so bright for them.
They have one of the 3 best players in the league. Plus,
at the age of 19.
Yeah, and like you said, they have a young core.
Mm-hmm.
That Adam Larson trade paid off. I wonder who called that happening.
I have no idea.
What a genius.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll be seeing Edmonton contending for the Cup for like the next decade.
Yeah, Edmonton Leafs Stanley Cup Finals next 10 years. We'll split it. I'm happy with that. Casey, anything to add?
They still need to find like a defensive game changer, like a guy to come in and really set the tone kind of thing.
They need a guy to pair with Larson, I think. Like more of an offensively skilled defenseman to pair with Larson.
Maybe Kevin Shattenkirk this offseason. He's a free agent.
That would be a good get.
He's gonna be very sought after though. He's gonna command a lot of money.
Peter Chiarelli deserves a lot of credit.
You think so?
Yeah, man. People were attacking him. Like, aside from one genius thinking the Larson trade was a smart move, people are just going in on this guy.
He kind of did a bad job in Boston, though.
Yeah, as
I know you want to cop,
it fell. No, but you're right. Like, they fell apart as his tenure went on there. But I think that was a bold goddamn trade that he pulled.
It was. Yeah.
Moving Taylor Hall, who a former number 1 pick, who many believes all-star caliber player, for Larson, who was a first-round pick as well, but like relatively unknown to the non-hardcore hockey fan.
Also, how weird is it that the same GM traded both the first and second overall picks from the 2011 draft, I believe, Taylor and Tyler?
That's
kind of
so
weird.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't know. But let's go back to Shirelli. If McDavid wasn't on the team, which of course he is, so it's a stupid question anyways, how bright would they look? Like, I think, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah. I don't know. Then they become like, I think McDavid's such a game changer that, like, let's say you remove him and add just the exact, like, whatever you consider the most average player at
Tyler Bozak.
Okay, let's say you remove McDavid, not Tyler Bozak. They're like a 500 win team, maybe.
500
win
wins?
team. Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think they play that many
500
games.
wins in an 82 game season, boys. Not 41 and 41, just 500 and 0.
Wow, you're high on Tyler Bozak. Tyler Bozak. All right, let's move on with that terrible blunder. Moving to the East, the Pens of the Sens. Good rhyme. I like it. Series tied at 1 apiece. I've been impressed with how well the Sens have come to play. I didn't really think they'd be able to hang with the Penguins. I still think the Pens are probably going to take it in 6 games probably, but they've been pretty impressive, and they're a great story. How do you guys feel about this series?
I also have Pens taking it in 6 because of their experience. And, like, Erik Karlsson's one of the 3 best players in the league right now. I'd say it's
Agreed.
Crosby, Karlsson, and McDavid.
Fair enough, yeah.
But he's playing banged up.
Yeah, that's a
he's been
storyline
hurting.
that it's been touched on a little bit, but it's kind of been underplayed. He has 2 stress fractures in one of his feet right now. In the playoffs, he still has 13 points, and when he's on the ice, they're +9 in goal differential. So he's been a game changer in playoffs, and he's been playing through stress fractures.
Clark MacArthur was talking about it and saying how Karlsson's just in constant pain. And that, like, game day is the best day for him because, like, the adrenaline kind of kicks in. You don't feel it as much. But, like, that's crazy that he's playing with 2 stress fractures and still dominating.
Like, making some of the best passes like we've seen in so long. Like,
he's gone from the most, like, gifted offensive defenseman that I've ever seen, but, like, kind of maybe not a guy you expect to captain a team and carry them.
Yeah.
And just, like, absolutely change the game.
Clark MacArthur, another great story in the team after being out of hockey for so long. Craig Anderson with his wife. Like, it's just, I know it's hard to cheer for the Sens, but they're a really nice story. And this has been a great run for them, and it'll probably end this series, I think. Speaking of the last series that ended, featuring the Penguins, of course, the Penguins beating the Capitals in 7 games. And you have to ask, is this it for the Caps? Are they just going to trend downwards now? What do they need to do to get over that second round hump? Or is it just time to get younger? Maybe full rebuild, but it's a little soon. What? They're in a sticky situation. What do they do?
Alexander Ovechkin will never win a Stanley Cup.
All right.
That's probably true.
It's always the Caps year until it isn't.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a little bit hard to go as far as saying they need to blow it up. Like, they in the regular season, they were still by far the best team. So it's like we all foresaw them choking, but like what they need to do is like get a couple grit guys in, maybe add a Tyler Bozak, if you will.
They gotta they have
They
to
try
add,
that,
like,
though.
guys who do the grime work, guys who've been on championship winning teams.
Yeah. Well, they brought in Justin Williams, guy that does both, who's
I love
won
Justin
cups.
Williams.
Yeah, Justin Williams is
Like,
awesome.
They need an Andrew Ladd.
Milan Lucic, like that's the type of player they need. Like somebody that's going to come in and play like a hard-nosed, no pun intended, style of hockey.
But like even Ovi plays that type of game. I don't know, man. Like they've done a lot of these things that you guys are suggesting, and it just hasn't worked.
He does, but like Lucic is the type of player that'll get in your face and then punch you in the face. Ovi is like a guy who's gonna like speak some crazy Russian at you and then hit you pretty hard down the ice. But like that's it. Like you need somebody like who's gonna be swing that momentum in your favor with like an absolutely massive fight or something like that. You need an intimidator.
All right, Mr. Cherry. You hating those Russians? Good old Vancouver boy, Milan Lucic.
Make fighting great again.
But like Ovi's turning 32 at the start of the year. Like Holtby's still got another 7 years at the age of 27 of prime goaltending years. It's a sticky situation.
But it's not like Ovi's slowing down.
No, he's not. He's not. It's just it's a tough situation. Like they've tried a lot of the things you guys have said.
You know what they could do actually?
What's that?
They could add an Eric Carlson, a Sidney Crosby, and a Connor McDavid.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a good
that'd be
point.
pretty interesting.
Why haven't they thought of that?
Yeah, are they stupid?
Basketball does this all the time. You just convince Kevin Durant come to your city because you got 3 All-Stars. So why aren't super teams a thing in hockey? I don't want parity. I want winners.
Yeah, it should make it so much better. All right, with that, let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some baseball, finally. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Buzz Graley, Mayor of Jacksonville. Look, I was featured in an ad on this fine program trying to get y'all to come on down to Jacksonville. But unfortunately, no one has come to visit our great city. Instead, seemed like everybody been going down to Boca Raton. Mayor Joey Freshwater's calling me every single day to brag. And I just gotta know why. Boca's okay. Well, that is if you aren't afraid of being murdered by the mafia. They even made multiple Sopranos episodes about it. Aside from that, Boca is a snooze. 'Cause most of the residents are old and sleepy. Their median age is 45. Jacksonville's median age is 420. I don't know what that means, but they say it will make me sound hip. Anyways, please come to Jacksonville. If you're willing to visit Florida, why not Jacksonville?
Brought to you by the Tourism Board of Jacksonville.
All right, welcome back from the break. Let's dive into some MLB talk. The first topic being, which player and or team is due to cool down after a hot start to the season? Casey, you can get us started.
My first thought was Miguel Sano would probably be one of those candidates that's likely to have some pretty big regression coming up. He's currently batting .300 and he has 10 homers already. And with a little bit of perspective to those numbers, his career batting average so far, I know he's still young, but still up to this point in his career, he's a .240 hitter, and he hit 25 home runs all of last year. So his 50-plus home run pace is pretty unsustainable right now. And like, this is a player who I see having a pretty bright future. Like, I think of him kind of like a Edwin Encarnacion comparison. Like, they're pretty good eye. Like, they're still going to strike out a lot, but they're going to take some walks and then some pretty crazy power. So I could see him eventually in that like 35 to 40 range, but not this year. I think he's probably going to be somewhere around 30 home runs. And I could see him ending up back around like 240, 250 in batting average. Because right now, like, he's leading the league in BABIP right now with 438, which is insane for somebody who cannot run that fast. And he's definitely not a speed guy.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? Who do you think's due to cool down?
Justin Turner, the third baseman for the LA Dodgers. Right now he's batting .359 at 32, despite being a career .286 hitter. And he's a solid player. Like, he hit 30 home runs or something last year. And he's definitely a starting lineup worthy guy. But .359, like 1/5 into the season, he'll come back down to earth and he'll probably finish around .290. The weird thing is, though, like I said, he hit something like 30 home runs last year. He's only on pace for like 5 this year.
Huh.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird.
You don't think of Turner as like a batting title contender type of guy, so 359 is definitely way over his head. And like you said, like, everything in baseball levels out eventually. So like, it might be, he might end up a little bit higher than his career average, but it's not going to be that much higher.
For me, I'm going to go with Kevin MVP Lar, a.k.a. Kevin Pillar. The guy's hitting .310. He was up at .317 at one point in the game. I think he came back down. He's a career .272 hitter. He has 6 home runs already this season even though he's hit only 19 home runs the last 2 years combined. I love Kevin Pillar, and he's been the best player for a mediocre team now. Not a bad team anymore. Awesome. He's been getting better every year at the bat, kind of. You can see his progression, but there's no way he's actually this good of a hitter.
No, he strikes out too much to maintain a 310 average for sure. And
Definitely.
Power isn't his game. Batting really isn't his game in general. Like he's gonna bring you some wins with his glove and in center field. So you don't expect him to really carry the team, but like as they've had so many guys put on the DL, like the entire roster, it seems like I know that well over 50% of the payroll right now is currently on the DL for them.
Yeah.
Which is a ridiculous stat. But Pillar has been one of those guys that stepped up with the bat and really drove in some offense. So it's good to see him, but you don't think it's going to last.
Yeah, exactly. I love the guy, though. He's a fun player. He's good for the team. Casey, who's your second player or team to cool down?
My second one is the Astros in general. When we think of the Astros, like, we've all kind of been expecting a breakout because they're such a talented team. Like, and they have so many young players, and they just keep bringing up more and more. It seems to be like they're the American League version of the Cubs. There's like every prospect they bring up is a top prospect, and they just succeed pretty much right away. So you can kind of see why they've blown up this year, but they're winning at an unsustainable rate right now. Right now they're second in the league in strikeout percentage on offense as a whole, and last year they were the fourth worst team in that category.
Yeah.
So like you're gonna see a lot more strikeouts moving forward, just like regression back to the mean kind of thing, and with that you're gonna see a lot less offense overall.
All right, how about you, Rob?
Big ol' Aaron Judge, the outfielder for the New York Yankees, the Rook. He's batting .316 with 14 homers right now. And a lot of pitchers haven't seen him before, so they don't really know what to expect when they go out against him. But as the season progresses and they get more film on him, I think they'll find answers. Like, he'll keep up playing well for a rookie, and I think he'll finish batting somewhere around .275 with 30 homers, which is incredible for a rookie.
Yeah.
But it's like he's kind of a mystery to pitchers right now, and once they get more tape on him and they see like his tendencies and what he misses on, you know what I mean? Like it's hard in baseball to go up against a power hitter that you've never seen before. It's kind of like Yasiel Puig cooled down.
Yeah, it's true. For me, I'm going to pile on the Aaron Judge talk and say that the Yankees as a whole are going to cool down. They're off to a nice start. It's a really tough division, the AL East. Even when it's not that good, it's still pretty good. The Red Sox have had a bad start. They're only going to get better. And they're powered by a lot of young players. So, there's a cliff to fall off there with young guys often. Like you said with Judge. Judge had a historically great start. There's no way he can sustain that and keep on powering this team forward. Starlin Castro is hitting like .338. He's not going to keep that up. I think they're just going to fall back down to earth. Probably not win this division.
Yeah, I see Judge's fallback from grace. It's going to be something a little bit like Juan Francisco, that one year he had in Toronto, where he started the year with like 10 homers in the first like 25 games, and then everyone realized he couldn't touch a single breaking ball that they threw to him. So like they're going to eventually find Judge's downfall. I don't think it's going to be as severe as Juan Francisco, who's been out of the league since that year, by the way.
Yeah.
But they will find a weakness and they will attack it.
Remember how excited everyone was with Juan Francisco? They're like, "Oh my God, it's another Edwin, it's another Jose," and it just fell off the map when he couldn't hit the curve.
Well, from a franchise that only seems to get players in that fashion, like the grab them off the heap and throw them into the lineup, see what they do kind of thing. Like it was exciting to see another guy mash a bunch of homers that quickly.
All right, moving on to our next baseball topic. And the question is, if you could build an MLB team around one player, and that player is not named Trout, Harper, or Juan Francisco, who would it be? Casey, let's start with you.
When I first thought of this question, the two names that came to mind were Mookie Betts or Nolan Arenado. And pretty much based just on age, I went with Mookie Betts. And for me, like, he's kind of been in lockstep with Mike Trout, at least last year and that half of a year before that. He's batting 300 right now, despite having a 280 BABIP. So you can expect that BABIP to go up about 100 points and his batting average 40 or 50 points higher because of that. So you can see him honestly ending up somewhere around like 330 to 40 realistically. And it's believable because, and this stat is insane, but he has 11 strikeouts right now this year.
Wow.
He has 11. He has by far the lowest strikeout percentage of anyone in the MLB right now. And just for some perspective, Jose Bautista himself has 50 already. And that's not counting the game today where he probably struck out another 3 or 4 times. So it's pretty obvious choice to me in that it's Mookie. He also brings some good defensive tendencies to the table. He's got the speed. So if you're not going to play the big boy ball that they often play in the AL East where it's only homers and you need to manufacture some runs, like he's got the speed in order to steal a few bases and get a couple extra runs manufactured in a pinch if you need it.
Mookie was actually my second choice. And, you said he can't play if you don't want to play the big boy ball. The guy still had 31 home runs last year.
Yeah,
that's no slouch. Go ahead, Casey.
He can definitely hit the long bomb if he needs to. Like, being in the AL East helps with those numbers, but I was just saying, like, if you take that away, just batting average, not striking out ever, his defensive work, which is exceptional as well, and his ability to steal bases alone, and then you add on top of that a 30 homer possibility, or even more, depending on how he's feeling that year. So he's pretty much a freak, and he needs to start being considered as one of the best in the game right now.
And he's only 24.
Yep.
All right, how about you, Rob?
When Casey first was asked this question, Mookie Betts popped into his head. For me, it was Manny Machado, the third baseman for the Orioles. And like Betts, he's only 24, and he can hit for both power and average. I know he hasn't had his batting average is only like 221 right now, I think. He's hitting with a lot of power, though. He's on pace for 41 home runs. But I think Machado's kind of a do-it-all guy. Like, he's a high-end defender as well at third base. Plus, like I said, the power and the average will likely come. I think he batted 294 last year. And he's still 4 years away from actually hitting his athletic prime. And another thing that factored in for me, I just love Manny Machado. Like, the fire and passion he has for the games. Some people, like, call it antics, and if you want, but I buy into what he's selling. I just really love the guy. And to me, after Trout and Harper, he's in the conversation with those two. And
he can also slide over and play some shortstop in a pinch if you need him to. Like, he's exceptional on defense, and that translates across the infield.
Exactly. Like, I think Betts is the better offensive player, but he's the better defensive player.
Fair enough.
And even Betts is no defensive slouch too. But
yeah. I'm not saying Betts is a bad defensive player.
No, Machado's really,
you can't go wrong with either of them.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with as well. Chris Bryant. He's 25 years old, so only 1 year older than those guys. Near 300 career average. He's won an MVP. He's won a World Series, taking the Cubs all the way last year. Hits for the power. He's solid defensively. He's a really good all-around third baseman. He doesn't come with the issues that Machado does, if you consider them issues, which a lot of people do, some people don't. Arenado's up there for me too. And yeah, I don't know. He's just a really solid all-around player.
Yeah, for me, like, I almost chose Arenado over Mookie. Like, the only difference was the age. Like, Arenado's 26 right now, but he's had back-to-back seasons of 40-plus homers and 130-plus RBI. And his batting average has gone up every year of his career, and his strikeout percentage has gone down. So you can kind of see him starting to develop into a 300-plus hitter every year. And then at the same time, he's still filling out. Like, he's gotten bigger, like physically bigger every year. So you can honestly see one, maybe even two 50-homer seasons in his future. So I'd sign up for that any day.
All right, moving on, and let's do some way too early 2018 draft talk and talk about the QB class next year. I'm going to pose a question to you guys, and that question is If you were general manager, which 2018 eligible quarterback would you take to build around? Casey, let's start with you.
For me, it's Mason Rudolph. He is the one that fits my criteria that I often look for. He's got the size that you look for. I'm not massive on that, but sure, he checks that box if you want. But he has multiple years as a starter, and if he finishes this entire upcoming season, he'll have 3 full years under his belt as a starter at Oklahoma State. So that's really big for me, because the biggest thing you need is reps. You need as many reps as possible coming into the NFL so that you're not completely lost. So if you need everything to slow down at the college level before you can enter the NFL and be effective. So having all of those reps is huge for me. And another big thing is you need to have touch on your ball, and you need to know when to do it. And a lot of the other top guys for me exclusively throw fastballs, and that doesn't work in the NFL. You need to be able to throw over defenders just as much as you need to throw past defenders, kind of thing. So you need to know how to throw with a little bit of touch on the ball, and Mason Rudolph does that, especially on his deep balls, better than any QB in this class, in my opinion. He almost does it too often. Like he might need to throw a couple more fastballs in there. Like sometimes you might see those get picked off in the NFL because you have less time to fit it into a window. So he might put a little bit too much on his passes. But honestly, I just think he's up there for NFL readiness overall. Like he doesn't play in an NFL pro style offense, but he's still making a lot of full field progressions, and he's making a lot of big time throws, and he's got a deep ball that is unrivaled in this draft class.
And you know that Rudolph is a born leader, like leading through the fog, Santa's sleigh. It's impressive. Rob, who do you have?
I hate you so fucking much. All right, if I were a GM, what I look for most is consistent accuracy. And my guy's Luke Falk from Washington State. He's got good size. He's 6'4", 216. Good NFL build. Checks out. He's entering his redshirt senior year, so by draft time, he'll have started for 3.5 years. Like Casey said, reps are the most important thing. It's the reason you don't take, let's say, I don't know, a 1-year starter at North Carolina, 2nd overall, and trade up for him. And Fox is consistent with his accuracy from short to intermediate to deep throws. Like he isn't the most accurate deep passer. I think that's Rudolph. And Rudolph throws the prettiest deep ball you've ever seen. And I'm also big on Rudolph like Casey is. But Fox consistent at all levels. And he completed 70% of his throws in 2016. And college completion percentage has been a big marker for successful NFL quarterbacks. And Falk has great poise in the pocket. The pass rush doesn't seem to fluster him. He'll stay strong in the pocket to make big throws, and he's willing to take hits to make throws. And he's actually my 5th rated QB in the 2018 class so far. But I think he has the highest floor and is the safest pick of all the quarterback prospects. And he does everything very well with few questions. And he doesn't have the ceiling of a Josh Allen or a Sam Darnold, but he doesn't have the questions that they have. His biggest question is he comes out of Mike Leach's air raid system, which isn't a great system to come out of for a potential NFL quarterback. But he really reminds me of Derek Carr when Carr was coming out of Fresno State.
And Rob, I'll ask you something about the air raid offense of Mike Leach. Is Falk's completion percentage kind of bloated by him throwing lots of like screens and passes behind the line of scrimmage, short passes, that type of stuff?
I wouldn't say like he's not throwing Mitch Trubisky like bubble screens every other play. He is throwing a fair amount of like short crossers, and the routes in that system are like option routes. They'll just sit down and there are easy completions that come from that. But still, if you like, he's so consistent. Like deep ball, post, like everything. His accuracy is really consistent. So his completion percentage is bloated from the system, but he's still very consistently accurate quarterback on every level, in my opinion.
And that higher completion percentage because of a lot of bubble screens and short crossers and 3-yard outs and stuff like that, that's pretty consistent across NCAA football. Yeah. Like it's very, very few offenses are legitimately pro-style offenses anymore. Every one of them has a lot of spread concepts. So I'd say like the QB that has the most pro style concepts is probably Josh Allen.
Yeah, 100%.
So like all of these guys' completion percentages are pretty inflated.
All right, and before I say who my guy is, we took this question to Twitter and threw up a poll, and the options we gave were Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and other, aka pick your own. And surprisingly, 30% of people said other, 5% of people said Rosen, 30% people also said Allen, and 35% people leading the way said Sam Darnold. Do the results surprise you at all? Like, I'm not surprised Darnold had the most votes, but other pretty close.
Without watching the tape, I'm sure a lot of people are buying into the Sam Darnold hype, but his throwing motion is just so weird, and he's my number one quarterback.
Yeah.
And I get, like, he does seem to have this it factor that superstar NFL QBs need, but the throwing motion just really freaks me out, because how many guys with such an elongated motion have succeeded in the NFL?
Russell Wilson. That's like literally the only one I can think of, really. Like, but like it's
probably
different.
similar,
Like
too.
with Wilson, it's different though, because like although his windup's a little bit elongated, like the actual snap release is exceptionally
it's one of the
fast. So
fastest.
he makes up with that, and then like his decision making is like on par with Tom Brady, like speed wise. So that those two things really help make up for that elongated motion, and I don't think Sam Darnold is anywhere close to that. So like he could be a number one, but I think that really hinges on whether or not he fixes that throwing motion, and he needs to be able to put some touch on a ball. Like he's reading things late, and the elongated throwing motion gives him very little time to be able to fit a ball in. So all of his balls are going as fast as he can throw.
Yeah, and he's really not that accurate on short throws, I noticed. He has a lot more questions than I was expecting when I went into his tape after hearing all the hype.
I 100% agree.
Like, I like to see him. I like to see the offense be opened up a little bit more for Darnold. Like, a lot of it was those bubbles and stuff. And like you said, Rob, he missed quite a few of those throws, but he still looks like a very good prospect. He's got the size, the athleticism you want.
The
mobility
and his deep accuracy, I think, are kind of what teams are falling in love with right now. But and like, he doesn't seem to get flustered. Like, he's got pretty good poise. But I don't know. Like, there's not a whole lot of NFL things he's doing in college. He's doing like Patrick Mahomes types things almost.
I think like if he doesn't make some significant improvements to that throwing motion, I could see him legitimately falling so that he isn't anywhere close to being the number one overall pick. As of now, if I were to honestly draft a QB off of their 2016 tape and 2015 tape, if that's available, I would take Mason Rudolph over Sam Darnold.
I would take, like, despite, like I said, Darnold is my number one QB, but I like Falk and Rudolph are far safer picks to me, and Allen's got a higher ceiling than Darnold.
All right. For my guy, it is who you just said, Rob, and it's Josh Allen. And first things first, I'm just going to confess my love for small school quarterbacks. I always get behind them. I love the story. I don't know. It's just always really cool to me. And we talked about him quite a bit already, but he's really raw as a passer. But he is in a very pro-style offense, like you guys have said. He's got that elite size, 6'5", 225-ish. Awesome athleticism. And he looks a lot like Andrew Luck did. Of course, not as polished as he was. But the size, the athleticism, and he's such a gunslinger like Andrew Luck is. He makes some crazy, bold throws, often over the middle, scrambling, running out, almost at the sideline, throwing back to the middle of the field, deep, like the game winner over San Diego State, the first game. That was one of the most awesome game-winning throws I've seen in a long time. I think he might have the most talented arm in the class. He's a coach's dream at this point. So it's kind of like, everything that coaches saw in Patrick Mahomes times 10. And if Mahomes is the top... Go ahead.
Plus, he's not coming out of an air raid system like Mahomes is.
Definitely,
he's playing legit, like the closest thing to an NFL offensive that any of the top-end quarterback prospects are playing in.
Yeah, and an offense that's already produced a number 2 overall pick in Carson Wentz. It's the same coach, if no one didn't know.
My worry with Josh Allen coming into this next year is, I saw this on Twitter, he's losing a lot of talent. Like, I believe he lost his left tackle, he lost his starting running back, and he lost his top two, top
Gentry,
three receiving
the wide
options.
receiver.
He lost his two leading receivers and his leading tight end.
Yeah, Gentry. I can't remember their Malhart. I can't remember the tight ends.
His leading receiver coming back only caught like 21 passes or something.
Yes, and you don't see Wyoming bringing in very many 5-star or 4-star recruits, so they're going to be replaced with marginal talent, and we'll see whether or not Josh Allen will be able to thrive like he did this past year.
Yeah, without Brian Hill had a great year last year. I think that's a big step for him, and like you guys said, the receiving options too. Chase Roulier, the guard, losing him too. The offensive line should be all right still, I think, but that's a big loss. 2 5th-round guys, a couple UDFAs. It's tough, but I think that's also a big question, for scouts. Like, he's not playing the highest level of talent, but he also doesn't have the highest level of talent around him, so it's hard to gauge what he really is. But I think a team will fall in love with him. I like the guy a lot. I just want to cheer for him. I want to watch Wyoming football. I've never said it before in my life. I like that.
No, it's fun, and like that whole situation could act as something that drives his stock up. Like, if he performs at the same level or higher this year without all of that talent, like, it's going to be the moon is the roof here. So
yeah, the ceiling is the roof. Yep. All right, guys. Anything else that you want to say about the 2018 quarterback class before, we can't talk about it again until March?
Lamar Jackson's better than people think.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. But you guys haven't watched the LSU game yet.
No, it's not on Draft Breakdown, but
we need.
I know.
Hey, Draft Breakdown, please get the LSU game up quickly.
Draft Breakdown, we know you're listening. Put the LSU game up.
We love you, though. Thank you, Draft Breakdown.
All right, let's end the show with a couple of games. The first game is called the Nickname Game. How this game is going to work is I'm going to give you guys a name of an athlete who is in need of a good nickname. It's going to be 5 players. You will each give a nickname for each player. So Casey, you're going to go first with the first nickname, and then Rob goes first with the second nickname. And I will award a point for the better nickname. You guys understand?
Yep.
Rob, I need audio confirmation here, buddy.
I'm so confused. I love it.
All right. Casey, you're first. Rob, you'll get a chance at the same player. Casey, your player is Drew Brees.
Buzz.
You don't need to buzz. Just go. It's your turn, Casey.
No, that's my nickname.
What do you got? Oh, Buzz.
The
Buzz Brees. Okay. Too late. That's your answer.
The Big Easy.
Nope. Buzz Brees is in. Rob, what do you have?
It's the Big Easy Breezy.
Round 1 goes to Rob.
Fuck.
I didn't even piggyback off you saying Big Easy, Casey. I already had it.
Sure.
Oh, wait. Are you seriously, Rob? Is that true?
But yeah.
Because I was giving you the point for stealing the idea. I love that.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
No,
Nope.
It was original. I'm sorry.
Point goes back to Casey.
Yes.
All right. Player number 2. Rob, you start. A podcast favorite from last week, apparently. Antonio Brown.
Antonio Downtown Brown.
Nope.
Okay, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
Nope.
Casey, what do you got?
Stupid fucking haircut.
I like Rob's. Point Rob. Game's tied at 1. Casey, you go first. You ready?
Always.
Your player is Roberto Aguayo.
A banana in pajamas.
Okay.
Wait, why?
For obvious reasons.
For obvious
Okay,
reasons,
now
Rob. Come on.
Now I get it.
Rob, what do you have for Roberto?
Wide left.
Too soon.
Yeah, I'm going to give that one to Casey. 2-1, Casey. Next player is another podcast favorite. Rob, you got first. Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick, I don't know how to throw a football regularly. Mahomes?
Clever. Casey, what do you have?
Thanks.
Schlongy Schlongerson.
Also clever.
Patrick, I got robbed at gunpoint.
Oh no.
Oh, topical. Damn it. I wish I had thought of that.
Please cut that. Please cut that.
Nope. Rob, you get the point.
No, sick.
All right, last player. It's 2-2, but your points are going to carry over to the next game. Casey, you got first.
Yep.
Marcus Peters.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Yep. Marcus Peters is a cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Marcus Peters.
Marcus, I got kicked off the Huskies, Peters.
Worth the wait.
good.
Worth the wait. Rob, how about you?
Marcus PBU Peters. PBU stands for pass breakup.
I understood. Rob gets the point.
Okay.
3-2 going into the next game. And I have higher hopes for this game.
That game was terrible.
Thanks, Rob.
A lot of silence and confusion.
I said it was going to be bad.
Yeah, I have it in my notes as AJ's bad game.
Oh, no. That hurts.
The next note is AJ's better game with a question mark.
Oh, I'm making up for it. And first, I just want to say, we here at Wrestling the Starters have a strangely profound love for the late and great Big East Football Conference.
Oh my god.
On that note, to celebrate that, we're going to have a Big East trivia contest.
Yes.
Oh my god, Rob's gonna destroy me. This isn't even fair.
Shut up, Casey.
That's not true. Unless it's just football.
It is just football.
True enough.
Screw Big East basketball.
Oh, that's the best.
Okay, so the first, I think I got 4 questions. Yep. Are going to be buzz in. Whoever goes first, answer it.
The buzz is back.
The buzz is back. All right, question number 1. Which team won the very first Big East title?
In what
Buzz.
sport?
It's only football. Casey, what do you got?
Just completely guessing here, but Rutgers?
That's incorrect. Rob?
I'm guessing as well West Virginia?
That's absolutely correct. What a guess.
That's probably... I definitely should have guessed that. West Virginia.
West Virginia. Question number 2. Which school was expelled from the conference in 2004?
Buzz?
Why were they expelled?
Buzz?
Casey?
Wasn't it Virginia Tech?
No, Virginia Tech left for the ACC, and they stole Syracuse's spot. Rob?
Buzz?
Yep.
Temple.
That's absolutely correct. The score is 5-2. Let's go to the next question. Which 2 teams face off in the backyard brawl?
Buzz!
Rob?
West Virginia and Pittsburgh.
That's correct. 6-2, Rob. And the last question before the lightning round. Which Big East team was the last to win a BCS game?
Buzz.
Buzz!
Casey?
Rutgers.
I don't know if they've ever won a BCS game.
No, I just said Buzz and then I blanked.
That's how you
Buzz.
play. Rob?
West Virginia.
That's incorrect. I'll give you guys another try. It was over number 3 ranked Florida in the Sugar Bowl in 2013.
Buzz!
Rob?
This team isn't in the Big East. Why did I buzz?
Who is it?
Cincinnati.
No. Rob, what was your original answer? Okay, no. Casey, what do you got?
Louisville?
That's absolutely correct. Good work, Casey.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna buzz in with Utah. I don't know why.
All right. Let's move on to the lightning round. And how this round is going to work, honestly, I'm not too sure. This round is just name the school. I'm going to start listing players that attended this university.
Do we buzz or just shout it?
Please buzz in and stop me.
What a stupid question.
But the longer you wait, the easier they'll get. They're already pretty easy, so. Are you ready?
Yeah.
School number 1. Kendall Reyes. C.O. Moore.
Buzz.
Go ahead.
Connecticut.
Correct. 7-3. School number 2. Connor Barwin.
Buzz.
Come on.
Cincinnati.
That's correct.
I knew that one. Damn it.
Then why didn't you buzz?
I literally was just about to.
School number 3. It's the lightning round, Casey. You got to keep up. School number 3. Steve Sladen.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Casey.
West Virginia.
Thank you. All right. Casey, I think you're still alive. You need to run, though. School number 4. Harry Douglas.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Casey, you're down,
What?
so I'll give it to you.
I was
I heard it at the same time.
that was me first.
I think
No
so.
way!
Casey, I'll give it to you. Go ahead, Case.
Louisville.
That's correct.
This is some bullshit.
Please, Rob. Keep it to
Oh,
yourself.
am I on I'm on a delay. I got it.
A delay of game?
Hold on, man.
All right.
School number School number 5. Kelly Jennings. Jonathan Vilma.
Buzz! Miami.
Yeah, that's correct, Rob.
Damn.
Please wait for me to address you though next time, or else you will be kicked out of the game. School number 6. It's already over, but Matthias Kiwanuka.
Buzz.
Rob.
Boston College.
That's correct.
Come on.
And one was for fun as the tiebreaker, super speed round. School number 7, Marcus Vick.
Buzz.
Casey.
Virginia Tech.
That's correct. Final score is 10-6. Rob, still undefeated champion. To be honest, he was a little bit of a jerk this time, though. So I'm going to gear games more towards Casey now.
Next time it should be CFL teams, but by naming Big East players that are on them.
Oh my god. That would be amazing. But that's Rob, that's like your niche.
Yeah, I have a very specific set of skills.
What are they, Rob? Working under bridges?
If you don't return my daughter, I will use my specific set of skills to hunt you down and kill you.
I didn't know you had I didn't know you had a daughter, Rob. On that stupid note, which will probably get cut, that'll do it for this episode of Resting the Starters. But before we go, boys got a plug and plugs got a boy. Rob, what do you have?
Check out armchairallamericans.com. I put out a 2018 QB article last week. Evaluated the 8 QBs there was enough tape on. Got a pro comparison for each. And this week I should have a 2018 running back piece out.
And for the listeners, there was no collusion there between doing 2018 quarterbacks on this episode and also Rob releasing an article. If anything, we want to keep Rob's career down so he stays on the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at RTSPod. We do show polls now, apparently. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. Check them out and a vote, please. Give us any takes or questions or cues, however you want to call them. I don't know what the preferred nomenclature is. Anything that you got, hit us with it. You could be the tweet of the week next week. Check us out on the interwebs at restingthestarters.podium.co. We got a YouTube channel with the exact same content as all the other platforms, if you want to go that route. And please rate and review us on iTunes so people are warned about how bad this show is. And for Casey Fleming and Rob Paul, I'm Adrian Marchese saying goodbye, alligator.
Sports.
Dan Toby's on the case.